What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping back in. It's Steve Alexander here, and today we're talking about microphones. We've got a special guest speaker coming in. Speaker, talker, I don't know what to call the guy. He's a voiceover actor, a friend of mine, Dan Casda, DK Vocals. Definitely should check him out on Instagram and YouTube. But he's going to bring some insight into our microphone needs. What do we need just to get started? Is an iPhone good enough, or do we need something crazy like some of the stuff he has set up in his studio, which are thousands of dollars? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, I just want to acknowledge that Sony has just released two new cameras, the a6600 and the a6100. And if you're a vlogger and you're really into this kind of tech stuff, this is exciting news. The 6600 looks like it's going to set things off on a whole new level for that, with the flip up screens and the 24 megapixel and all the things that added a jack for your microphones and stuff, and just they really kind of amped it up. Plus, they now include the Z series batteries in that lineup. It's going to change everything. So anyway, looking forward to talking about that in the next couple of weeks, getting my hands on one of those and doing a review for you guys. But in the meantime, today, we're talking microphones. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Steve Alexander Photography, and today I've got Mr. DK Vocals, Dan Casda himself.
Also known as Dan Casda.
Dan Casda. This is going to be a very interesting morning, I think. Day, afternoon.
It's to say the least.
Whatever time it is. It's actually Sunday afternoon here. I'm getting ready to roll out for Tuesday. I think we've been up since, I don't know, I know what time I've been up since.
I've been up. I've had a friend that I had to watch their dog, and that was unfortunate. Apparently, I'm not good at dog sitting. Which happens.
I heard that. That's
so
a rumor.
That's great.
Cool.
That is a rumor.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're actually talking about sound.
Hey, wait a minute before we get started. By the way, just for a note.
Where no?
So until this point, anything you've watched has been filmed on an i7 Plus.
Yep. Which I did not know was recording.
It is. It's also doing a time lapse.
Yep.
And we have a 5100 over there.
Yep.
For our B. And then we're recording on our A7 III Sony, which is the best mirrorless camera in the world.
For the A.
For the A.
The other one's the B.
The A. The A team, the B team.
The B team.
Cool.
Absolutely.
So we're rolling, and we kind of wanted to kind of take things up a notch and also give you a little bit of a look into a couple of different levels of microphones.
Yep.
Some things that are super affordable, some things that are not so affordable. And I think maybe something maybe in between-ish. We're going to talk about different
actually
microphones.
On the table, we have such an extreme. We have the most expensive and then one of the least expensive. So
but you can still get sound.
In the middle.
Decent sound.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah, throughout the whole spectrum. Depending on what you're doing.
And we're going to do a little test.
We're going to do tons of tests.
Testing.
In fact, this entire video is a test.
This is actually...
If I'm actually going to be allowed on the show again.
It's a mental health test. But anyway.
You failed already.
Failed. So cool. By the way, I love your cup. You brought that over.
This cup, and it says peace, because I am into world peace.
Yes, that's cool. We know a guy like that too. Anyway, so we're talking about sound. So tell me why sound is important. Why would we spend, how much is that microphone? Let's just lay it out there.
So it's new $1,900.
So $2,000.
Right. I guess I could have said $2,000. That would have been better.
Well, you're being
$1999.99.
Right. So why, and the Yeti over here, we have a Yeti Blue.
Right.
And that runs for like $100.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ish.
It's a USB versus a...
Well, yeah, USB, and this is going into an XLR, into an actual preamp and everything. And so you'll get a better sound from having a non-USB microphone. And USB microphones inherently have an underlying sound in them.
Why is that?
Just because of the data transferring through the USB cable, and it's being powered also through that same cable, so it's not having that separated with a preamp, which is great. So if you can only afford or you're just starting out, a Blue Yeti is something that I know a lot of people on YouTube that use. Now, if you want to get to the creme de la creme, that's pronounced correctly, actually. I looked that up before I started here. YouTube has anyway. So shotgun mic all the way, I think.
And what is this we're looking at?
So that is a shotgun mic. So that is a Sennheiser MKH416. Deity actually makes a microphone that's sort of like a clone of that, very, very inexpensive, and we can put that also in the description below. I've always wanted to say that, but nobody invites me on their YouTube channel.
Cool.
Something about me being annoying, I have no idea.
So say that so you can let people know that all of this will be
in the link in the description below.
In the link in the description.
Did I say that wrong?
Yeah. Well, those are big moments. So you say it right.
Let's say it.
So wait, check. Take two.
Take two. All of this. You can't look at me.
It's gonna be great.
I had one job. This is where it all goes down.
And you said always wanted to say that.
I have. I've never said it. That's why I'm not good.
So yeah, go for it.
And everything will be in the description. I don't even know what to say.
So you can say something like, the link will be in the description below.
All the links will be in the description below.
It's gonna be great. So
I was talking about the Deity mic.
Right.
And so you don't necessarily have to get the most expensive mics. There's always less expensive versions of more expensive microphones. And then there's a lot of companies that will actually push out a microphone that includes the shock mount, a pop filter, and the mic itself. And so, there's a lot of really good sounding stuff out there. You don't necessarily have to go for the $1,000 plus microphone.
Cool. So real quick, just so a lot of people watching will probably be like YouTubers, or you want to be YouTubers.
Yeah.
Or again, just get it started. So a lot of the terminology that's used is run and gun.
Right.
So this is not run and gun.
No.
This is sit and set up for an hour.
It is.
So there's no running or gunning.
Nope.
There could be some gunning later, actually.
There could be, depending on how well this goes.
Yeah, there's going to be any gunning. But so preferences. So I know I have a Rhodes shotgun that I pop in. It's got a little filter adjustment on there too. Yeah. Deity makes one as well. I know Matty, what's his name in Canada? Yeah, I forget his last name.
His name is his last name.
This long. Yeah, and he says it like Maya, and it's not.
Just say it like that.
Probably gonna cut that out.
You should probably cut that out.
Yeah,
you look ridiculous.
Sounded terrible. So Rhodes and Deity. Any other like good, smaller, portable that would maybe go on top of your camera type microphone?
Rhodes sort of kind of dominates that. I'm actually a huge Rhodes fan in both of their top mounted mics, and then also their shotgun mics that you can connect. Slightly less running and gunning kind of setup. I would suggest throwing in like something like the H6, like the Zoom H6 or Zoom H5. And that's still technically running and gunning because you can have that connected, still mounted on a either a boom, or you can find a mount for the top of your camera. Put some, even like this can mount on top of your camera. Yeah. And then have that, you can literally have the little H5 thing that's sitting in front of you, or like a side kind of satchel thing. And to me, that just produces an even better sound. But to answer your question, no, I really think that if that's something you want to go for, Deity and Rhodes are like the best on that. And I really like Rhodes microphones. Yeah.
Cool.
A lot.
And there's tons of, if you're looking for suggestions on which ones, I mean, I'll put down what I use. I'm using the Rhodes. I've been looking actually at the Deity only because, like I said, a couple of guys I follow on YouTube are using them and recommending them. Yeah. But we'll kind of link that so you kind of just, if you're looking for some direction, what mics to use. Obviously, if you go on Amazon, like there's the number one or number two pick. Yeah. They're pretty close though. It depends on your level of technical skill as well is going to help too. Like when you're mixing. Talk about software.
Sure.
Like, so when you take it, so what we're going to do is we're literally going to do a test. Now the test is kind of weird because we're going to just be talking. Right. But what I'm going to do is we're going to cut out all of the effects on each of these mics. And we've got even the blue here. Yeah. And just so you can hear what these things sound like, stone cold, basically
Right.
like out of the box. And then you're putting a little
Yeah.
sauce on them.
And keep in mind that these microphones are set up in a room that's not acoustically treated. And so when we do this test, you will hear obviously some more reverb, a lot of the room noise in there. And so will essentially be what these microphones sound like in this room, not in a full studio setting.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of juice that you can put on, and to segue into the software, DAWs are obviously when you're connecting to a preamp, you need.
So hang on, DAW, you're losing people.
So digital audio workstation.
Gotcha.
And what that allows you to do is take this analog signal, your voice, run it through a preamp, and then make it go onto the computer. And from there, you can edit your voice. You do various compression techniques, EQ, add the sauce, as we in the industry like to say.
And what software would you recommend for someone starting out?
Starting out, I mean, first of all, and on the phone side, I'm not a huge advocate for Apple products, as we have an ongoing battle that I think I've lost as of yesterday. But I really enjoy Macs just because preloaded GarageBand is actually not a bad DAW, especially for something as simplistic as just kind of having your voice, zhuzhing it up a bit, and then throwing some scoring underneath. You don't need something crazy for that.
No.
The one I use is Logic Pro, and I just absolutely love Logic Pro. Very similar interface, and there's a lot of great plugins that you can get both on GarageBand and Logic Pro. Just to make your sound better and to kind of tighten it up.
Cool. I'll mention also super simple, not on this level even,
Right.
but straight out of the box. If you have an Apple product, QuickTime.
Yeah.
QuickTime, actually, you can do your screen. All my screenshots that I
Yep.
do and screen tracking is done with QuickTime. You can also do your recording, which I'm recording right now. You're going to hear that coming through this little microphone here,
Yep.
and that's all going through just through QuickTime.
Yep.
And it's super simple. You just literally open it up, file it, asks you, do you want to do a video recording, which is screen, or do you want to do audio, which is what we have right now. This is hooked up through USB.
Yeah, and if you don't import obviously there's limitations on what you can do with the voice once it's recorded. But if you just want a super simple setup where it's just literally just recording your voice, yeah, QuickTime's.
Right.
So yeah,
cool. So what else should we know about audio when we're running, say something like this? So actually, great point you made before. You mentioned we don't have any sound blankets up.
right.
We don't have any acoustical foam up.
Yep.
We're not in a room that has any type of treatment whatsoever, other than the fact that like there's a couch in front of us that's
Sure.
absorbing some bounce, but like lots of open walls,
Sure.
hard surfaces.
Yeah.
So just quick, let's just kind of, what could we do to improve sound in here? What would we do if we were down? So by the way, we're going to roll right now. We're going to watch a little clip of you and I downstairs in the basement.
Oh, that should be fun.
When we did Property Resources.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
did the voiceover for that.
Yes.
So we set up down there.
Yep.
So do you remember kind of our setup?
Yeah, and in that kind of environment, it made my life easy because the closer the microphone can be to you, the less room noise you'll really hear to a degree. But yeah, I mean, I would start if you really want to get the room sounding decent for what you're doing. The clap test is really what you do, and that's just you stand wherever you would be and you'd clap and you'd hear whatever. That's probably going to sound very unpleasant because that definitely clipped. You clap and you hear the reverb, and so what you want to do there, obviously you're not going to go out unless you're stationary in one spot and shooting. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of foam. There's really great sound blankets that you can get that you could pop on a couple of pipes or a couple of poles and sort of stop that signal from bouncing from the wall back into the microphone and thus creating that room noise. But there's also really great plugins that you can use. I know iZotope creates a phenomenal plugin that is really, it uses artificial intelligence and it kind of takes out the room noise. It actively listens. And then if you bounce live, which is a bouncy thing, I know it's kind of getting pretty into it. It actively kind of mixes everything so that the room noise is virtually gone. And you heard that in the recording yesterday. It sounded like she was in a studio, and that's another alternative you can get. And it's probably around the same price. The blankets, I think I got 12 for $200. And then I think the isotope thing is right around that. I mean, it's a little costly, but it's definitely worth it. And it goes from making your sound, kind of bearable, because YouTube, you're on a mobile device, so you don't really hear as much. But you'd be surprised if you have a tight sound, people will hear that, and it's definitely worth investing in.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the software is listening for outside sounds and stuff that is.
Yeah, it's listening, and it's actually you'll see it. It has like high, mids, lows, all that kind of stuff, and it's actively like boosting and taking stuff out. And
it's good. So the software is kind of like Alexa and Siri. It's always listening.
Exactly.
So
exactly, or like your TV.
Right. It got insulted, and it just said, "Oh,
we're back. The Steve and Dan Show."
Oh my gosh,
that's good.
Cool.
Good.
So, what else you got? Any other tips, tricks, or stuff? What's your favorite microphone?
Wow, that's actually the one I'm using right now. Yeah. So I am a huge Neumann fan. I think, and those are classic, right? The U87 is found nearly in every single place that you go. It's fantastic. Good. It's also good to lend out.
Just a long-term lending. No collateral.
No good.
Just lend it out.
Okay, promissory note. I promise to steal your stuff. So I mean,
time out. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay, back. Just compose yourself.
Oh my God. Can you ask that question again? Let's just start over.
I'm going to do that. Yeah, I thought I might do that. So, let's have a drink. We haven't started drinking yet.
No, we haven't. No. Oh, geez, that's awesome.
So tell us, what's your favorite microphone, and just quick why?
Yeah. So actually, the microphone I'm using, it's the Lewitt LCT 940, and I'm looking at it, and you can't see it, but there's this beautiful window that's showing off the tube that's in there.
Oh, but they will see it.
They will see it.
Well, we're gonna do some 60 slow
motion.
we
should do that. Yeah. Should we start over now that I did that
just keep going. We're good. No, you're good. They're gonna see it.
They're gonna see it.
Hey,
that's
you can
great.
see. Look at this.
And you could see how amazing this window looks with that tube just nice and warm. Anyway, so it's an awesome mic, just because it's the only mic that's made like this. It has two different types of circuitry, which we don't have to get into. But basically, there's a lot of blending and different things you can do to basically make this mic sound exactly how you want it to sound. I'm a huge Neumann fan as well, but this just kind of takes the cake for me. To me, it's a perfect mic for somebody. I mean, you can do anything from mic amps, mic drums. I mean, you could mic anything. Your voice. It's just phenomenal. And then this is my favorite shotgun mic. I mean, you have to mention the Sennheiser MKH416. I mean, it's virtually used on every single Hollywood film. I mean, you see those everywhere. It's actually funny because a lot of people don't know that voiceover talent started using these, because these are really meant to be used from like 7 feet away on a boom. And I don't know who did this, but somebody obviously popped it in their booth and talked close into it. It was like, oh my gosh, that sounds great. Amazing. Yeah, and they really do. They really do.
So price points, what is that?
So this one again was around $2,000, and this is right around $1,000. The $1,000 range,
and then $100,
and then $100, and then you said the Deity I believe is around like $500, $600.
Yeah, I think we said around 5 or 6.
And then Rhodes actually creates, I think it's called the N1. And it is, I think there's like a letter behind this, like N1, essentially, the N1 series. And that's the one I was talking about that comes with a pop filter, the shock mount, and the microphone. And that thing sounds really good. It really does. Yeah.
And what does that run about?
I've used that. And that runs, I think, under $200.
Wow. Okay, cool.
And it's just a great value. And I think that when voiceover talent contacts me and asks, what's a great starter mic? I mean, that's usually the microphone I'm saying. It comes with everything. I'm like, why not? Because that stuff can get pricey.
Excellent. Cool, man. Well, I think we covered most of our bases here.
Yep.
So last question.
I did want to talk about the DBX.
Couldn't talk about that. So there's more than one question then. So we have some other stuff to look at.
Why don't we transition with, why don't you tell me about, or is there any other piece of equipment?
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm going to make sure So there's a piece of equipment sitting over here to my right. Tell me about it. What is it? What is
Absolutely.
exciting?
It is the DBX 286.
This one right here.
And this preamp is not expensive at all. And I think, and I'm throwing numbers now, I think it's sub $300. And for a preamp, that's really good. But
got blinky lights.
it's got blinky lights. But where
Those are
this
gonna be
thing
nice.
really shines is that everything is on board that you would need. And this is very particular. And this is particularly good for people that are live streaming, or even something like this, where you don't want to go into a DAW and put on a bunch of different plugins. You know, you're not really into that. I mean, one tutorial video, and on there you have compression, you have a gate, you have a de-esser, you have a lower frequency enhancer where you can make your voice sound a little boomier, a little juicier. And then you can also have the high frequency to make it sound a little more treble, make it cut through the mix a little bit more. And it's just, it performs really well. A lot of people that even have very expensive preamps, they'll still have that in their signal chain because they want to have either the gate or the compression or something light on there that's analog, that's sort of cleaning things up before it even gets to the DAW. And it really is. The preamp is not bad at all. It's fairly quiet. You can give it some juice, and there's really not a lot of noise. And it's just an all-around great amp. And that's an amp that I recommend to a lot of voice talent when they're starting out too.
Cool.
And
what do they run?
Like I said, about under $300. I want to say like $250 is the price, but it might even be a little bit less than that. I know Sweetwater, if you ever go there, and obviously they don't give us anything for saying this, but Sweetwater will sometimes have really good deals on stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great location to go for any type of audio products. And mic stands. They may have mic stands too.
You have a YouTube channel about equipment and you own 0 mic stands.
Yes. So cool, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Hey, look, it was a pleasure.
I'm glad we could fit this in your. I know your schedule's crazy.
And
busy.
I want you to really get this. I said pleasure with a question mark at the end because I haven't watched this yet, so
No.
this may ruin my entire career.
That's the NPR way to say things.
That
Everything
is.
you say has to have like a question at the end because it sounds more intelligent.
Well, I'm a very intelligent person, so if I do that, I'll almost sound too intelligent.
I think that the viewers will get that.
They will get that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very
Albert Einstein, Dan Casta.
Right.
Albert Einstein. Do you have any Neumanns I can borrow?
And if you need to borrow any equipment, Dan loves lending stuff out to people.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Especially if he has no idea who you are and you live in another state.
Virginia.
You know, just give him a buzz.
Give me a buzz.
Yeah, he'd happy to lend you that his equipment.
All of it. And my pink
Steve
mug.
and Dan show.
We should do this like sexy outro.
We should do that.
And this has been the Steve and Dan Show. Tune in next time.
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything really.
Yeah. That was good. That was good. Is there anything else you want to throw on and, kind of put in? Now that we've got the thing, we can relax a little bit. I mean, you my recommendation always is, I mean, you want to just ask?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, you did?
We're
That
still
was live?
rolling.
Oh, we're rolling.
We're still
Are
rolling.
we rolling?
Did you see me get up and
Where's
turn it
my
off?
Pocket square.
I don't have my
well,
remote
just
control
start over
for
and
that.
ask. I thought
I
these
have
were-
my remote control for the television. So, cool. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready, Freddy.